Just beamed in to Buffalo. I beamed in here a while ago, but anyway, I'm here. Anyway, yeah, at the end here, in that last little room, it just kind of leads out. Doesn't kind of lead out, it does lead out to a balcony looking down at the street. It's quite nice. So I'm in there doing it, finishing. And there'll be some other stuff, and the paint guy coming to do downstairs, and then the floor, and then us living here full time. I'm making my way up here on a Friday. Is there any other way to do it on a Friday now? I'd say no, because we're in Buffalo. Yeah, go Bills last night, eh? There's a 2 in a row for the guys. It's great. So yeah, here we are. Let's get situated. Wearing this shirt from my summer 2023 collection. Brought to you by Steve at A is for Alice, B is for Bob, C is for Chicago, I guess. I don't know. Running out of ideas for the letter C. Chime in the comments what you think Steve should call that channel with the letter C. I don't know. C is cool like the Fonz, right? Because Steve is cool. And there's Miller High Life. It's the champagne. It's a Friday, so it deserves champagne because it's kind of high budget. So yeah, nothing really happened this week. I come over here in the evenings. I stay here some nights. Patty's taking care of Colton. But yeah, it's kind of hybrid living. But yeah, we're really getting there with the reno. It's coming. Home stretch here. So yeah, I didn't think we'd get there back August 1st when we walked in the front door, but we are getting there. So come to the party next July and you'll find out for yourself, right? You can party here, get it done, right? So anyway, I've listened to a shit ton of music this week on that old three CD Denon bookshelf system behind me with Jerome the Giraffe, my co-host. None of my other tchotchkes are out of their King Tut's tombs yet. They're still in storage, but we're getting there. So yeah, the electrician still has to swap out all the stuff up here, and that's happening next week. So then I can start unpacking, get situated. I did bring my turntable over from the apartment. It's just sitting back there, but anyway, yeah. So listen to a lot of CDs. So no vinyl, but I'll get to that. Eventually we'll be back into the vinyl, but for now I've been revisiting my compact disc collection. So please bear with me. If you're a vinyl purist, you can just turn the channel, go over and watch something else. But for now, this is what's happening. It's champagne and CDs, so deal with it. I'm dealing with it. So anyway, last night, dealing with it. I was listening to this. This came courtesy of my friend Greg at 3 Dimensions of Music. Greg, he's over at 3 Dimensions. And I was listening to this last night and had a bit of a blast. And I thought I was entering the 4th dimension. This is Pink Floyd's last, final, whatever you want to call it, The Endless River. It's mostly instrumental. This came out, I want to say 2014, the date on this one. Yeah. So Greg sent this to me about a year ago. I was still living in Massachusetts. So it's a bunch of songs composed during the Division Bell sessions. And anyway, so they recorded these years later, 2014, produced by David Gilmour and Phil Manzanero of Roxy Music fame. So that's pretty cool. Little trivia there. But yeah, when you listen to this, the songs, it just sounds like Division Bell outtakes that are really good. I mean, they're outtakes, but they're still really exceptional. Gilmour's guitar, I mean, man, yeah, what a blast. Whoa. Yeah, man, it's a trip. So yeah, Things Left Unsaid kicks this off. It's what we do into ebb and flow. It's just kind of a symphonic, I wouldn't call it background music. Ambient is a good word for this. Really nice CD. I've never seen a jewel box like this. It's the cardboard with a rubber center in the middle there. In the center. It's in the middle. So anyway, yeah, this is really good. Endless River. So shout out to Greg. There's the guys on the inside. Really nice packaging on this. Almost like a book. The binding on the side. Really kind of high end, if you will. So anyway, thank you, Greg, over at 3 Dimensions of Music. I know he's coming to Buffalo next summer. So Greg, we're going to roll out the red carpet, and you'll probably be nominated for a Colton Award. Again, for most laid back channel. You may take it 2 in a row. Stranger things have happened. I'll break out the champagne for you, Greg. All right, so where else are we at here? So yeah, going kind of reverse to like what I showed from last Friday. So this is everything I've listened to since last Friday. Stone Roses' Second Coming was their final coming. This album, Breaking Into Heaven, kicks this off. It's fantastic. I know Jack over at the Vinyl Voyage. He's a huge fan. This is one I want to duplicate and get on vinyl. I bought it at the time it came out. I really want to get the vinyl copy. Love Spreads. I remember that when I was going to the clubs at the time, back in 1994 when this came out on Geffen. Really, really incredible. Yeah, the vocal stylings of the crazy Ian Brown. Speaking of vocal stylings, Chris Cornell, Louder Than Love, rather. It's their second studio album. So I was living in Toronto at the time, and I remember going to this club called the Boom Boom Room. Sounds like a strip joint, doesn't it? But it wasn't. It was a crazy-ass, really wild club. Queen Street West is kind of like, if you've been to New York City, it's kind of like Alphabet City, Greenwich Village. It's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Punky, funky, get your freak on down there. So anyway, yeah, the Boom Boom Room, it was like an old factory. It wasn't a giant club, but it was like really everything was painted black. And the club, I think, didn't even open till 10 o'clock at night. And you go in, and then they had these, it was a balcony, kind of a mezzanine around the top. And then they had these cages around with these cage dancers. They were like go-go dancers would have been, but these were like these freaky goth chicks. Looking hot and leather and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, whatnot's the key there. But anyway, it's Soundgarden, and I remember this blasting. There was a tune on here called Full On Kevin's Mom. It's great. It's funny. And it's amazing. And Big Dumb Sex. I remember hearing both of those songs there all the time. Blasting. Chris Cornell, there he is, the late, great Chris. Doing a lot of sit-ups. He's ripped. He's doing it. Great hair. I don't know why he cut his hair near the end there. That was weird to me. But anyway, there they are. Louder Than Love, classic, amazing. So I've been revisiting like this period in my life, the 90s, when I lived in Toronto for a couple of years. Therapy is another band. I believe they are from Ireland. This one called Trouble Gum. I think it's their second release, 1993, 1994 on A&M. There they are. This one saw a few parties. Yeah, they're fist up, man. So this is just, I don't know what to call this. It's kind of metal-y, but then it's very polished. Like the songs are all like punk songs, 3-4 minutes, in and out. I really like the vocals. The drummer, it's like he's doing an aerobic workout throughout this thing. He never stops. It kind of reminds me at points of Helmet, the sound he makes. I'm not a drummer, so I don't know if it's a snare or whatever it is, but he's just killing it. Yeah, the guy must have been working up a sweat. So yeah, if you wanna look up this album, I suggest you do and play it all the way through. I mean, Knives kicks it off, and then it goes from there. Hide the Knives, right? I'm going to get drunk and fuck you up. When that's the chorus in a song, you know you're in for a crazy night. So anyway, this is great. Play it all the way through. Can't name all the songs. The print's really kind of dark on here. It's hard to see. See these guys jamming the cymbals together. It's rocking. It's therapy. It's called Trouble Gum. That's another one I'd like to get. So revisiting these CDs, I always used to say, oh, I'm not in the business of duplicating my CDs just to buy the vinyl. But now I'm thinking some of these, I'm like, I want to get the record, man. Yeah, Albert Collins, man, the master of the Telecaster. There he is, live in Japan. What's the date on this one? 1984 on Alligator Records, right there. Great label. A lot of great artists on that label. There's a great intro to this where the guy does it. It's almost like if you used to watch wrestling in the 80s, where they, the Undertaker, here he comes, and they give the big intro. It's the master of the Telecaster. It's Albert Collins and the Icebreakers live in Japan. And yeah, it's great. If Trouble Is Money, look that up. 7 minutes, 53. Live version on here. Really good. And of course, he does a nice version of Stormy Monday right there. Clocking in at 9 minutes, 10 seconds. There he is again, doing some ice picking because he was the Iceman. Just really great blues. If you like electric blues, man, Albert Collins, he's lit, man. Late great. One of my favorites. Amazing. Get these out of the way, man. All right. Speaking of late greats, Eddie Van Halen right here. Fair warning. You've been given a fair warning. Mean Street, Dirty Movies, Sinner Swing. I mean, yeah, get it on, baby. That's, rock out and have a good time with that one. Van Halen 2, You're No Good, kicks this off. Fantastic. You know what's funny? I listened to this probably Sunday or Monday, and then I was just, today I was finishing painting that last room, and I was sitting out on that deck, and I was listening to this college station I listened to, and you never hear Van Halen on there, and I heard You're No Good, so it was kind of weird. The universe is a funny thing, right? Things move around, and coincidences. House of Love, a little Britpop for you right here. Yeah, Beatles and the Stones is a good one to look up on here. They were on the Fontana label. I think Embryonic Brian would probably know these guys. Saw them in Vancouver at the Commodore Ballroom. Jack at the Vinyl Martini would know that venue. My friend Renee out there, I saw them. Saw these guys. I think it might have been actually with Catherine Wheel, or was that a separate show? I was out there for a couple of months at that period, and yeah, we went to a lot of shows, so it's kind of blurry. But anyway, House of Love right there. Saw these guys in Buffalo and actually met that guy right there, the bass player and lead vocalist, Mark Burgess, at that show I went to July 5th here in Buffalo. This is live in Toronto at the legendary RPM Club. It's a bootleg from 1987 right there. Maybe Brian, speaking of Brian Embryonic, fashion icon that he is, was there wearing a no-logo shirt. He could have been. Swamp Thing, I know Brian is a big fan of that live version. And on this label, Imaginary Records. So yeah, I think I bought this actually in Toronto at the Vortex Record Store. It's all CDs at this point at Yonge and Eglinton when I was living in Toronto, early 90s. Bought a ton of CDs there. I think that's where I bought this one. But yeah, it's got all the hits at the time from the 3 albums that they did. And it was live in Toronto in 1987. Saw these guys, Lollapalooza in Toronto, up at Molson Park. It's no longer there. It was this big field. We partied our asses off for the weekend, rolled in on Friday around 5, 6 in the afternoon, and then the concert was all day Saturday. You basically drove in, they mowed down all these this field area for parking, and you would go in there and you're locked in, and we had portable grill and shit. It was like tailgating at a football game, whatever, and just rocking out, and we saw Tool, right? So they were on the side stage. They weren't even on the main stage. So, and this is like, I think their second album or their debut. I'm not a big progressive metal guy, whatever you call Tool, but they were really entertaining. And I bought this CD after seeing them. And the song on here, there was a single called Sober, really grim video, kind of photography like that, black and white, just really dark. Like it's a bunch of forks sticking into this. I think that's a wild boar. But yeah, it's kind of freaky looking. And they're in the Undertow, Tool. Now, they were on the side stage, and then there was that Jim Rose Freak Circus from Seattle, and there's a chainsaw juggling guy. There was another guy called Mr. Lifto. He had all these weird piercings, and he had something. He had a sock on his penis, kind of like a Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers would do that routine. But this routine was he'd lift something with it, and it was really disturbing, but it all worked out. Nothing fell off, and it was highly entertaining. Yeah, so anyway, yeah. Jim Rose Freak Circus. Maybe I'll leave a link in the description for Jim Rose Freak Circus, as well as Greg from 3 Dimensions. If you don't know Greg's channel, get over there and subscribe. I didn't do any slides today, so I don't have a slide to show of Greg, but I'll leave a link in the description, just like I said. So anyway, speaking of my club days, again, back from, this is late 80s. This was in my university days. Palehead, this is an Al Jorgensen project. And I had a 12-inch single, but this is a compilation of the 2 EPs. So No Bunny and I Will Refuse. I Will Refuse was really big at clubs like the Boom Boom Room, the Dance Cave in Toronto. Those clubs would play the shit out of this. And the Bovine Club, that was another club on Queen Street West that played a lot of Palehead. But anyway, yeah, I had a buddy at U of T, and I used to go down there once in a while from Ottawa. And that's when I was first exposed to those clubs on Queen Street West. So when I finished school, and then I moved to Toronto, lived there for a couple years in the early 90s. I knew the territory, and I was ready for it. Champagne it's a brilliant, kind of sunny 75. It's like Southern California weather today here in Buffalo. Lovely, perfect. So you've had your weather report, back to this. So Zooropa, a lot of people probably hate this and wonder, why are you showing this? I don't know, when this came out around 92, 93, I was a huge U2 fan in the 80s. I was kind of, at this point, going, what are you guys doing? After Achtung Baby, then they did this. I don't know. You put this on, maybe, I don't know, have a blast. It's kind of a trip. It opens with this Zooropa, 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Babyface is kind of crappy, but then Numb and Lemon, Stay Far Away So Close. I mean, these are, to me, quite listenable now. I kind of, at the time, was, I don't know. And it's one of those albums I'll go back to and back and forth on. But now I think I'm really sold now. Funny, this late in life. You've sold me, Bono. Stop wearing those indoor sunglasses. They look ridiculous. Cake. Comfort Eagle. Another 90s outfit. Not 90s, early 2000s. This is 2001. Don't know which release this is. I think they were already in a couple of albums at this point. Really funny, quirky band. Pretty sure they're American. the title track on this, Comfort Eagle. It's really great. Meanwhile, Rick James is another one on this. Short Skirt, Long Jacket was the big single. I think that's probably one of their biggest songs. There they are. They're rolling Comfort Eagle. Really cool band. Check it out. Have a slice of cake. Ooh, yeah. A slice of J-Lo. Right there she is. Looking fantastic. I think she's on husband number 4 or 5 at least at this point. This is 1990. I can't read this print. It's so small. Mid-90s, I guess. There she is, frolicking in the ocean, the sea. There she is, just looking fantastic. I don't know how to describe it, so I won't. There she is. Hi, Gary, over at Physical Format Jazz. And then it's a big essay here talking about all the men she's going to meet, like Ben Affleck and others. I don't know. I think she met Embryonic at one point. She was up in Toronto. So J-Lo, she's everywhere. And this album, 10 from 6. If You Had My Love, it's great, man. Let's Get Loud was kind of like a Miami Sound Machine kind of vibe to it. It's fun music. I picked this up used probably for a few bucks way back in the day, and it's J-Lo. If nothing for the cover at all, it's great. Another fine female, Loretta Lynn. This is not a compilation. It's a record she did. Collaborated with Jack White. There he is. They're at the farm, and he's like, I'm not working in the barn tonight, Loretta. We're gonna get back in the studio. So come on, get away from that tree, grab the guitar. We're going in and we're gonna record this album called Van Leer Rose. And if you wanted to look up the title track or look up Portland, Oregon, great song. And that is the actual duet with Jack White, as you can see there, Portland, Oregon. Really wonderful, from about 1996, 1997. No, sorry, 2006, 2007. We had already moved to the U.S. at this point. And I remember hearing this on college radio here when we were living on the North Shore of Boston. And I picked it up. It's fantastic. Crisis? What crisis? There's no crisis here. It's just renovations. Supertramp right here. Right? Anyway, this is the follow-up to Even in the Quietest Moments. That's me sitting on the deck earlier right there. It's a nice caption. And then lastly, having a blast here with 10 years after. It's a space and time, right? So there they are. Friends of Steve at A is for Alice, B is for Bob. He's a friend of Alvin Lee. So anyway, one of these days. Great. Have a blast and listen to that. So now we're going to have a little slideshow. Not a lo-fi. It's just some photos because I found that mystery bag of photos from went out a long time ago. So the story goes, when I married Patty, we moved to the North Shore of Boston back mid-2000s. And then we were there for 3 years. Then we went out to Southern California for 5-ish. And then we came back to the greater Boston area. Now we're in Buffalo, right? It's just like a ping pong ball bouncing around the room, like that Fish song, Bouncing Around the Room. That's a good one. Cheers to you on a Friday. So yeah, anyway, Christmas 2006. There's Caroline and Dora the Explorer. She's got her new wardrobe set. There she is. Happy 2-year-old. I'm proud to say she's a happy adult now. Yeah, Mr. Potato Head, he was there at the party. Yeah, and there she is assembling. Some assembly required with Mr. Potato Head. This is a really hilarious photo. There's my late great dad. He was a real funny guy. His name was Gavin. Great guy. And Caroline got like a doctor kit. And so there's this bear, and Caroline's got the syringe. I don't know what she's injecting. And my dad is about to check vitals. He's got the stethoscope there. That's just a really funny classic photo. Love it. So speaking of painting, which I've been doing a ton of, this is another classic. This just showed up. Patty must have taken like a candid shot of me. So you can see paint on my shoulder here. All right, so this was at the condo. So when I met Patty, we got married and moved into her condo, not for long, and then we moved to the U.S., like I said, the first time. And so I was painting this spare bedroom in the condo, and I'm wearing this, of all shirts, a Hooters t-shirt, right, from Orlando, Florida. I'd been down there at some point. And yeah, there I am painting, and Patty took that photo. So classic because I'm in the middle of all this painting, but not in the middle now. I'm on the finish line. What am I saying? Here's a couple photos from a wedding. It's one of my best friends, oldest friends, Andrew and his wife, Jody. So Andrew's the guy that sends me, where's he here? Yeah, so Andrew, he's an educator, head of school, principal, whatever you call it, in Ottawa. And he has this friend here. His name is Richard King. And he does these great great posters. He does a calendar every year that he donates proceeds. I think the proceeds go to some charity. But yeah, that's Andrew, the guy. That's who sends me that stuff. And I've shown those Richard King calendars before. So that was at Andrew's wedding. This would have been just before I met Patty. This would have been in 2000, early summer 2002. And yeah, because these two were teaching over in Japan, and they came back to Brockville, my hometown, where we were both from. And there was the wedding. So I got these mixed up here. There's the happy couple at the reception. There I am. I was a groomsman, and there's Kevin. He was the best man. There we are. And Andrew, he was Scottish, so he's doing his kilt thing there, getting that going. So there we are. There he is with his kilt. Cool guy. And there's a group photo. There we all are, and I'm up at the top, leaning on that tree. Yeah. Good time. That was a great wedding reception, man. What a party. Speaking of parties, here I am at Canada's Wonderland, getting ready to go to see Santana. But then I had to meet this Klingon guy. So it's called Paramount Canada's Wonderland. So there's, you know, it's like a theme park. So you've got characters like this guy that's dressed as a Star Trek Klingon guy. So yeah, I was pretty blasted at this point. Shout out to Anthony, man. Best sign ever. Anthony at Gambler 812. Anyway, yeah, so here I am. I've been drinking in the beer tent all afternoon, probably having a blast. And we're about to go into the concert. And I'm like, hey, take a photo of me wearing this cool shirt, embryonic fashion from 2000. Oh, no, this is about 1998, 1999. This is a while ago. So anyway, there I am. Yeah, because the hairline was, yeah, regressing, right? Not progressing. Yeah, that was a good night. Probably the second or third Santana show, and that's going to do it. Yeah, speaking of shows, this show is about to be over. So whatever you're doing on a Friday, I hope it's great. I'm going to spend some more time with Jerome the Giraffe, listen to some tunes tonight. And so whatever you're doing, hope it's fun, and I'll see you in the next video.